All right, let's dive into the world of a plant you might know but haven't fully appreciated. The Pilea microphylla, also known as the artillery plant.
Artillery plant, huh? That's a cool name.
Right, and it totally fits, as we'll see.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
So, we're exploring this blog post called Notes on Gardening, part 466, The Invasive Spread of Pilea Microphylla.
Part 466. Wow, that's a lot of gardening notes.
It is. It's written by a guy named Ang, who calls himself an old software plumber on his blog, kianmeng.org.
So, not a botanist by trade, but clearly a passionate gardener.
Exactly. And this post really highlights how incredibly resilient this Pilea microphylla is.
Resilient, how so?
Well, he talks about how it pops up in the most unexpected places, like cracks in concrete staircases, tiny gaps in seedling pots.
You mean it just, like, appears?
Pretty much. He doesn't even seem to be actively cultivating it. It just thrives, even with minimal care.
That's wild. Most plants are a bit more, demanding.
Totally. And he mentions it spreads like wildfire, even with just a little rain and some shade.
It sounds almost indestructible.
It kind of is. And get this, he even compares its lifespan to another plant, the portulaca.
Okay, and
But the Pilea microphylla actually lives longer, reaching 1 to 3 years.
So, not just tough, but also relatively long-lived for such a, what did you say, tiny plant.
Tiny and tenacious, it really makes you wonder how it's so successful, right?
Yeah, what gives it that edge? Is it just the spreading, or is there something more?
Well, he actually discovered something interesting about the Pilea microphylla during a home improvement project.
What's that?
He noticed it was super abundant near walls where water tended to collect, almost like it was an indicator of stagnant water.
Fascinating. So it's not just about resilience, but also about adapting to specific conditions.
Right, and he even considered propagating it himself, but then decided against it.
Why is that?
He was worried about attracting pests, which makes you think about the trade-offs,
Yeah, I see what you mean. Even with a plant this resilient, there are still potential downsides.
Totally. And it makes me wonder, what other hidden indicators might we be missing in the plant world? What other secrets are out there just waiting to be discovered?
It's like a whole world of knowledge hidden in plain sight.
And speaking of hidden things, remember how I mentioned it's called the artillery plant?
Yeah, I'm still curious about that.
Well, apparently its flowers are so tiny they're often mistaken for pollen.
Wow, really?
Yeah, and he even mentions wanting to get a macro lens to capture them.
That's awesome. It's like a whole other universe of detail we usually miss.
Totally. And he's not just fascinated by its survival tactics, but also its beauty, even at such a small scale.
It speaks to a real appreciation for the intricacies of nature, even in the seemingly mundane.
Absolutely. And I love how it all ties back to the joy of discovery. This tiny plant is a microcosm of the wonders that surround us if we just take the time to notice.
Exactly. It's a reminder that there's always something new to learn, something amazing to uncover, no matter how familiar something might seem.
And this Pilea microphylla with its tiny flowers and incredible tenacity is a perfect example of that.
Couldn't agree more. It's a testament to the fact that even the smallest things can have a big impact and teach us valuable lessons.
Now let's dive into one of the most fascinating aspects of the Pilea microphylla's survival. Its unique way of spreading through both cuttings and seeds.
Oh, that sounds intriguing. I'm ready to learn more about that.
Let's get into it then. So, cuttings A and D seeds, huh? That's pretty clever for one little plant.
Right. It's like having a double strategy for taking over the world, plant style at least.
Well, world domination might be a bit of a stretch, but you get the idea.
Definitely. It's like, why choose one method when you can have both, right?
Exactly. It's all about maximizing those chances of survival.
And you know what else is interesting? Thinking back to what we were talking about earlier with the Pilea microphylla popping up everywhere.
You mean how it just seems to appear out of nowhere?
Yeah, exactly. And Ang mentioned that sometimes people even mistake it for moss because it spreads so quickly and densely.
Oh, I can see that, especially with how it forms those thick mats of foliage.
And that density is actually a direct result of its propagation through cuttings.
Right.
It's like creating a living wall that makes it hard for other plants to compete.
So it's not just about spreading out, it's about establishing a strong presence wherever it lands.
Exactly. It's like secure the perimeter and then send out the reinforcements.
So those reinforcements would be the seeds, Ro.
You got it. The seeds are like little explorers, venturing out into the unknown, searching for new frontiers to conquer.
It's fascinating how these two methods work together.
It is. It's like a perfectly coordinated, two-pronged attack on the plant world.
Okay, I love that analogy. But seriously, this dual strategy seems like a surefire way to ensure success.
Right. And it's not just some random fluke of nature either,
What do you mean?
Well, this dual approach is the result of millions of years of evolution. Think about it. Countless generations of Pilea microphylla all trying to survive and reproduce.
And over time, those with the most effective strategies, like using both cutting and seeds, were the ones that thrived.
Exactly. It's natural selection at its finest, constantly weeding out the less successful approaches and favoring those that give a competitive edge.
So the Pilea microphylla we see today is like the ultimate survivor, honed by evolution to be a master of its environment.
It really is. And, thinking about this plant's incredible resilience and adaptability, it makes me wonder if there are any lessons we can apply to our own lives.
That's a great point. We might not be spreading seeds in the literal sense, but there's definitely something to be said for embracing a multifaceted approach to achieving our goals.
Absolutely. Just like the Pilea microphylla has its cuttings and seeds, we can have multiple pathways to success, different strategies for navigating the challenges of life.
So it's not about putting all our eggs in one basket. It's about diversifying our efforts and being adaptable to change.
Exactly. And just as the Pilea microphylla has evolved over time to become a master of its environment, we too can constantly strive to learn, grow, and adapt to the ever-changing world around us.
This tiny plant is giving us some pretty profound life lessons today. But, it's not just about the practicalities of survival, right? Aang also touched on something else that I found really intriguing.
Oh yeah, I remember he was talking about wanting to get a macro lens to photograph the Pilea microphylla.
Yes, and it's like there's this whole other level of appreciation for this plant that we might miss if we don't take the time to really look closely.
Yeah, it's like he was saying, hold on, there's this whole other level of beauty here that we're missing because we're not looking closely enough.
It's so true. It's like opening up a whole new dimension, realizing there's a hidden world right there in front of us.
It reminds me of how scientists are now discovering incredible complexity in the microscopic world, things we never even knew existed before.
That's such a good point. And the Pilea microphylla with those tiny flowers and intricate leaf patterns is like a microcosm of that hidden world.
It really is. It's like zoom in and suddenly you see this whole universe of detail that was completely invisible before.
And it's not just about aesthetics either, right? There's a scientific value to observing these details too.
Oh, absolutely. Every little detail, no matter how small, it tells a story about the plant, its evolution, how it functions in its environment.
It's like piecing together a puzzle where every tiny detail helps reveal the bigger picture.
Exactly. It's like
Definitely.
nature is an artist, and we just need to learn how to appreciate the finer brushstrokes.
Well said. So as we wrap up our deep dive into the world of the Pilea microphylla, I think it's safe to say that this little plant has given us a lot to think about.
It really has. We've gone from its incredible resilience and adaptable nature to its fascinating propagation strategies, to its unexpected role as an environmental indicator, and even its beauty as a subject for macro photography.
It's a reminder that even the most commonplace things can hold hidden depths and teach us valuable lessons if we're just open to observing, learning, and exploring.
Absolutely. It's like a call to action to slow down, pay attention, and rediscover the wonder that exists all around us, even in the smallest of things.
Well said. So to our listeners out there, we leave you with this final thought. Aang's blog post mentioned the Pilea microphylla has a lifespan of 1 to 3 years. In that short time, it manages to do so much: sprout, spread, reproduce, even serve as a tiny indicator of environmental conditions. What does that tell us about making the most of the time we have and leaving a positive impact on the world around us? Keep exploring, keep learning, and never stop being amazed by the wonders of nature. Until next time, happy deep diving.